A professor at the respected Massachusetts Institute of Technology is joining the growing list of those questioning the alleged evidence of the Syrian government's use of chemical weapons in Idlib last week. Professor Theodore Postal reviewed the White House intelligence report, which was declassified Tuesday, and says what the administration believes to be irrefutable evidence is, in his opinion, inconclusive. RT's Alexei Arashevsky spoke exclusively with the professor. Here's the rest of his interview.
Professor, you also said in your assessment of this report that this draws the analogies back to 2013 when the accusations against the Assad government of using chemical weapons in Ghouta attack, killing more than 100 people. You were actually investigating 2013 incident as well and came to conclusion that the U.S. intelligence may have been wrong there again. Can you specify what kind of analogies that we're dealing with here?
I think this is an indication that there is something extremely problematic in the American national system with regard to the use of intelligence. This particular report is in some ways exactly parallel to the report that occurred in the Obama administration. Factual claims that could not be true. Let me give you an example. They claimed that the American infrared satellites saw the launch and impact of the sarin munitions that were used in that attack. That is not possible. The American infrared satellites are very good, and they could certainly see the launch of a rocket, but they could not tell where the rocket landed because there was no explosion when the rocket landed. They would only be able to see the flash from an explosion. So this is overtly wrong. And no intelligence, I want to underscore, no American intelligence expert who knows anything about their business would have argued that this data was available. So that was fabricated. But what it indicates is a willingness on the part of high-level people in the White House to distort, to use intelligence claims that are false to make political points and political arguments. And this is a serious, intolerable situation.
Professor, I covered the G20 summit back in 2013 when Obama came to St. Petersburg in Russia to rally support for a possible ground invasion in Syria. And then the premise was the alleged attack by Assad government on Ghouta, the chemical attack. Now as you're saying, we're facing a very similar situation. Do you think it can actually go into investigation on the ground, something that Moscow has been demanding?
What I think a rational approach would be for there to be two investigations. There should be an international investigation, probably under the UN, since both the Russian and American sides have at some level vested interests, but some organization like the UN, where of course the Russian and Americans can provide their input and their arguments. And then there needs to be a second investigation. This would be an American investigation. And we need an investigation into how such a false intelligence report could be generated at the highest levels of our government. This is very serious. This confrontation with Russia has some potential to escalate, and if it's escalating over false intelligence claims, that is very serious. And in addition, I would argue that such an investigation of this report should also include a complete investigation of what happened when Obama was initially misled into thinking that there was an attack by the Assad government. We know that Obama was told after he initially believed it was the Assad government, he was told that it was not necessarily the case. So he was initially given incorrect intelligence, and then it was corrected, although the public was never told about this.